So.
Wait. Yeah, you can talk. Wait, shit, I can hear you, I think. Because I'll be now because my OBS is not set up at all, so I need to set this up.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Okay. So the live stream is so
They might
fucking.
not hear me, right?
Sorry, what?
They might not be able to hear me. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, they can hear you. It's just like
Oh, okay.
seeing you is debatable, which I'm fixing. Oh shit, they couldn't hear you.
Oh
Now,
shit.
okay, now they can hear you.
Oh, now you can hear me. God damn it. Okay.
Sorry.
Hey, sorry. So, I have a fiber optic internet connection, but apparently it's a piece of shit. So, I don't know. I can't stream for some reason. It keeps going down. Like my bandwidth keeps dipping so low, it just drops me. So yeah, I don't know. Patrick, wherever he is, has a better connection apparently. My bad.
Yeah, and I'm setting up currently because I don't have stream set up at all, and I have only single monitor, so the picture quality today will be astoundingly unprofessional.
Patrick,
Unfortunately.
wherever he is, has a better connection. Is that me? Oh, my bad.
Yeah, and I'm setting up currently because I don't have. Yeah, that is you. Okay.
Okay. Yep. Oh, I gotta go to the chat page anyway. So I want to talk a little bit about. I really wish Jacob was here. About what Jeremy was kind of saying. All right, so I really do think that we should all be like stockpiling in Beloy or Polytechnica and Lauren, and just like 100% getting that done, so we could have like a demo or something. I really think we need to like push through one, to have, to be able to even know exactly what it takes for the rest to get them to not 100%, but like to 90.
I mean, I'm for it, but like I'm adding the stuff to Lauren, and I basically. Wait. Sorry. Just I'm thinking live streaming and doing the setup at
Oh yeah,
at the
no,
same
no,
time.
no,
It's
you're
hard.
good, you're good, you're good.
Uh,
We'll talk about
okay,
it.
so essentially I have some stuff to add. I can add some small mushrooms, but there is only so much I can keep adding to the map, and in the end the dimensionality is the main aspect of it. So it's if it's always if it's and also remember that we're gonna have NPCs and fights there in the forest. So if it's if we're gonna keep adding stuff to the map, at certain point it's gonna be too much, and it's gonna look like like a fruit salad. Like I already it's
I really mean,
yeah.
what's this dude saying? All he sees is black. So I really also mean maybe not so much adding a bunch of new shit as much as doing like the normal maps and all that shit of what's already there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh shit, yeah, they are seeing only black.
Oh,
Wait. Okay, now they see what I'm doing. Jesus, yeah. I really need a second fucking screen for this. So, I don't know. So, like, if we could get, like, a definitive list of what other assets except literally bunch of other mushrooms and some grass, some different flowers for the forest. If there is anything else, then we could probably make a list. But if
right. Yeah, you're right. It's been kind of hazy. Just more forest shit. What does that mean? That's not. Yeah, you're right. That needs to be driven more from the
yeah,
level.
because like I remember we had
Yeah,
like yeah,
yeah.
like there was I think there was a live stream in December or something like that when like we were talking about, and at certain point I became genuinely frustrated, and then I said the unspeakable and unforgettable thing that Secret of Mana forests weren't all that interesting either.
Oh no, they're not that
And
interesting.
yeah, and I remember you getting very offended about it, and then I pulled out the map, and when you saw the zoomed out map, then yeah, there is not all that much. But when you're zoomed in on like those 800 pixels, you don't see, because generally that's the other thing. If you look at current maps, we usually show them at like 1000 pixels, which is quadruple of the resolutions that you will be playing at. So
Right, that's true too. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, there is. I definitely agree that I should be doing NPCs and basically what I'm doing right now. So, fuck, it's like the current setup for live streaming is so less than ideal. But okay, so now I'm gonna be showing off Photoshop, and I need to go to Photoshop. Okay, so we're starting to get.
Hey guys, what's up? Sorry, a bunch of new people are coming in.
Okay.
Someone asked real quick, how many hours do you guys spend on ES per week? That is so variable. Like this week, I had so much shit going on at AMD and still moving into this place. I didn't get to do hardly anything. It looks like Patrick had a much better week than I did. And then Jacob did a whole bunch of stuff this week. But, I mean, some weeks it's like when you're the one doing like the really important thing, you're in the zone. Like that's all I fucking do during the week. But even if I'm not doing it, like this is really in the back of my mind, like actively all throughout the week, and I'm doing things here and there. So it's highly variable. That's also why it's really good that we had two pretty big bottlenecks on level design and art, and it's really good that I'm not sure how many of you guys knew. We found out that one of our Lewis scripter, our Lewis scripter, right, who's been doing our Lewis scripts, he kind of wasn't doing so well, or he wasn't on track with one of the scripts, and he's like, oh, I hope you don't mind, I just made this level, because I couldn't finish the script. And I'm like, holy fuck, you were actually a really good level designer, So he's actually been wearing that hat a bit now, so that's allowing us to like pick up with, that was one of the biggest bottlenecks, right, was level design. And then we actually have our original artist from way back in the day, he's rejoining the team again. So what you really want to make sure you do in a team like ours is you have to make sure that there's nothing fucking blocking someone else. What if I had a bad week and a lot of stuff was happening at AMD and I couldn't work on ES that much, but then I made a big toolkit bug, that fucks everyone over, That would completely reduce the amount of work that would be able to be done.
Yeah.
I would say like 20 hours. And then it's more complicated because let's say that I'm smart and I develop something for a certain someone else that never mind.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't go there.
Yeah, it might be a bit
It's
too.
not what you think, but like sometimes it goes the other way though. I'm allowed to gift code to AMD and I've given them ES code, but you're not allowed to go the other way. I haven't gone the other way, so I guess what I'm saying is sometimes AMD benefits from it. But
yeah, you like in terms of in terms of myself, it varies. Like if it's a good week, it's it's 20 hours. If it's a very good week, when I can have entire week for ES, and then during the week I can also do. Recently, because of all the move, like I just got to Barcelona, so it was at worst it was 5. It was hovering around 10. So that's basically what I'm currently, and I'm working on getting everything sorted so that I can once again go back. But it's a good time for now, especially for me. Like honestly, Falco has been carrying the torch for the last year and a half, mostly by himself, and now I can finally get back into the fray. And
yeah, you've done really well lately.
Yeah, and we have also Jacobs is also our third egg in our group of bold eggs.
Happy Easter, RPG lovers.
Yeah.
Hey Jacob, you got the level that you've been working on?
You talking about Politechnica?
Yeah. How's that looking?
Yeah,
by the way, so we were talking to Patrick. Like, do you have like a definitive list in terms of what you think you need to finish Beloy? In terms, or are we still just saying vague things like you want more foliage? Are there very specific things?
Yeah, even if you would say, oh, I want more variants of bushes, that would be helpful.
Right. Patrick needs a little bit more to go on in terms of fleshing that out completely.
Let's see.
Dude, what the fuck is a sexy egg? Like, what the fuck is this dude? He keeps saying something about sexy eggs, and I'm like, all right, man. Like, if it's sexy, that sounds good to me. I don't know what the fuck that means. Is that a compliment, or is that like we look like shit?
That's obviously a fucking compliment. I mean, look at us, fucking
dude, it's the internet, man. I don't know what that means.
His name is Fred Hare, so who knows?
Oh, so he probably would know. Gotcha.
But yeah, anyhow, so okay, so let me finish really quick my shit. So yeah, so basically my most recent things currently were some new asset generation, but mostly preparing to receive pretam and to incorporate more Jacob into my workflow, and so we can get uniform vision of, because like to be fair, like all of the stuff with the concept art and with how things supposed to look and with enemies, like we established that shit a long ass time ago, so it's a good thing to revisit it and to make sure that everyone is on board in terms of what kind of thematic themes are for a specific area. So basically that's my stuff, organization and making sure we don't have any mess, so no miscommunication happens. So yeah, that's my part of the Scrum done.
Got it.
Jacob, spotlight.
Yes. Okay. As far as art assets, if we could get I don't know, like berries for the
hey, are we okay, so before we do this, are we down with using the fucking like request shit that we were doing in GitLab? I mean, I prefer GitLab because the Kanban wasn't even tied to anything, so
Oh
I
yeah,
really wasn't,
definitely. Yeah, so
I wasn't that
Yeah.
we had a thing going in GitLab where we had a milestone and shit. Like I thought that was pretty cool, but like
yeah,
that was integrated, with the rest of our shit. It's just the Kanban was like separate.
Yeah,
It's kind of
it was definitely, and I feel like I bear the large part of responsibility of why we haven't kept up with it, and I would like to apologize for it, and yeah, we should definitely go for it because proper task tracking, which is integrated fully into our workflow, it was a very good system.
Yeah. So
and it
that's
was
how I could track bugs.
and it was foolish of me to sort of let that be. So we should definitely go to it. So yeah, probably after a stream, because honestly, like I have one single screen, so I can't even right now even open anything ES related for the obvious reasons.
Right.
So.
Right.
Let's get back onto it. Let's make sure that everyone has access because we moved a lot, we moved servers, and let's clean it up and let's start. And
Jacob, you've made sure that you have repository access, right?
Yes, I think I had to redefine my user or my identity whenever committing though. But I'm able to pull.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
The maps today.
Good. All right. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So Jacob, do you understand like what Jeremy was kind of saying? I kind of agree with him that we should really like focus on fleshing the place out like entirely before we're just moving on and doing it that iteratively, because there are a few aspects like some of the dynamic lighting shit, especially that wouldn't come till later on. That's fine, but in the beginning, I need to make sure that on my end it works, So
Yeah.
I actually feel like I feel like we kind of do need to finish. Get a place like actually 100% instead of going on after that, just to make sure that we're all on the same page with tech and art.
Falco, would you mind if the normal mapping area that we would use it for would be the mines and especially the dungeon, because dungeon has a very flat geometry. And it will be a lot easier for debugging purposes, simply because there is.
Okay.
Yeah, because you remember when I was I was doing this insane crunch before Christmas, and I've made I finished the map, and I thought it was good, but then when we actually ran it in engine, it looked like shit, and I have no idea what's wrong. So, and it's a pretty complex geometry because
and it has a bunch of like the glowing kind of bloom specular kind of shit that we would be flexing the engine. I feel like the dungeon especially would be a really good test case because it will be simply it will be a lot more, there's less moving parts in it from the other. Okay, Jacob, do you hear that? What do you think? I kind of think he has a good point.
Yeah.
But that means like we would need you to shift more for level design to the ruins, to Feloy ruins, so that that level, those levels need to be solid and better. I'm sure we're missing a lot more stuff from those tile sheets. To
be fair, if it's just matter of testing, if it's just matter of testing, because genuinely I would rather leave normal mapping and the rest of the maps for the end of development, simply because every single time something changes in a tile sheet, then I would have to update 2 more, files, which is like, it's not ideal solution, but I don't think there is a better workflow to it. So
Right.
what if we just make like a one small ruin area, like let's say one of multiples that we would have, because in the end we have a warp system. So we just make a one simple map, like with a bit of ruins, like the transition between cave and the ruin room, maybe, because both of them are the same tile sheet. And then we
Because another thing
small.
is actually a lot of backers recently have been asking specifically, do you have a screenshot of an area, like they're aware of the fact there's this disconnect between what the tech can do and what it will look like, and the fact that we're iterating over maps, and that extra layer of gloss doesn't come towards the end, because obviously, gameplay and shit comes first. But it would be nice for everyone to have like that, at least see like, okay, at least in these little areas, this is like the complete vision, with like all of the fancy shit.
Because like
together.
in terms of maps, we have the lava dungeon. That was my test case, but it's way too far in the pipeline to sort of grab with it, I guess. So I think Lauren dungeon would be the best test case, and we have the glowy crystals there, which are already normal mapped. Like you saw this one, which was really great.
I feel like that is going to be one of the. We can do a lot of fancy graphics.
And also it's gonna be like it's gonna be a break from the Lauren Forest and Lauren, which we've been showcasting it for freaking ages, and like the dungeon is the packet with it, like it's the part of the same biome. So I think we don't go too far out of Lauren. We're still in this sort of like iterative, let's get one thing correct before moving on. But at least it's a small break.
You're expanding more. Okay, all right, yeah, I can get on board with that. It's a good compromise. Okay. Let's do that. Jacob, that means, Jacob, can we get... So all of Feloy is in like a warpable state, right? It should still be, right? Yes. Can we get... Is there actually an entrance to the caves yet?
Yes. It's the room.
Yeah, okay. Like, let's get this shit like warping in, and let's start there. Let's start like finalizing that map instead of jumping straight to the mines or Politechnica. Let's finish that connector right there, and that will be kind of like, because of the aesthetic we're going for in those ruins, that's going to be a really graphically intense, really cool kind of area, and especially with the geometry of it. Remember, Patrick, one of my old favorite maps from the old style was also that ruin, and it was very blocky looking.
Yeah.
It was very great, and it was an enclosed space to make some of these some of these important decisions, we can see it, and it's easy to change,
Yeah, that's basically what I'm thinking about. And, it still has some normal mapping in it, but it's a lot more basic than, a three-dimensional tree which has multiple planes intersecting it for the correct shadows. Like the forest is not an ideal test bed for it.
Not to mention, like, I can do a lot more. Like, the forest is one dynamic light in the sky during the day, like the ruins, like, fuck, dude, there can be a lot more shit going on there. And I want that, I want that interaction between, like, this is the fucking pixel art and the engine, working its ass off and shit, especially with some of the Dreamcast shit that I'm planning on doing relatively soon in the private backer chat. So that would be a good area to do with the Dreamcast work on.
Yep, definitely.
Real quick, you were talking about an area of transition between the actual ruins and the cave.
Yeah, have we not explained this to him before, Patrick? Okay. Yeah, I'll let Patrick handle it.
Yeah, I mean, like there's supposed to be there's supposed to be this mine, right? And let me screen share with you guys, so you don't have to wait for the screen.
Some references. Okay, I got a piss real quick while you're grabbing that.
Okay, entire screen.
Don't rest on my screen. I'll be right back.
All right, so.
But yeah, there's a little more significance to that transition.
Okay.
All right, so basically we have this. Need to find the folder. Shite. Wait, is this not in the... Sorry, it's like I haven't prepared. Like I started live streaming and I don't have anything set up for the live stream, and I fucked up my Photoshop setup a bit, and yeah, everything's hard. Okay, so basically, you know, Jacob, how entrance to the ruins is basically there is a small part of the ruins that's long excavated, and you know, and it's long known, but wait, what? Oh, shit, that's the wrong one. Oh my god, please, Photoshop, don't crash now. Everything's falling apart. Okay. I don't see the pre-made thingy, but whatever. I'm gonna just explain it to you by tile sheets. So basically, there is long, like in Loren became a mining town because there are some resources which can be used for crafting of, you know, powerful items and stuff like that, and there was this Amberium ore detected there, and they also found a bit of a ruin during the excavation, but they haven't found as much stuff as they expected, so it all kind of got abandoned. So we have still some mine resources like tracks, and I had some more items for it, where we have, you know, some switches, some wood, some dynamite. So, you know, you could like grab some dynamite and explode those pile of rocks to open up caves and stuff like that.
Yeah, Jacob. So don't forget one thing that we it's so important for level design. Always be thinking about environmental interaction. You've played like Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Have you played games like that? You know, where you can chop bushes, like pick shit up and throw it. You can push boulders to unveil secrets. Like areas like this should always, basically all areas should have some sort of environment that you can interact with like whether it be the physics engine or whatever, burn a bush, you know. We need some sort of mechanics, you know, maybe you can like look in some nook or cranny for Hedra or something in these ruins, but there need to be some sort of, preferably unique to each dungeon, although this isn't a main dungeon, you know, kind of mechanics like that. You know, that's what makes places memorable. Like, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Like, you've played like Ocarina of Time, right? Like, think about, have you played that?
I haven't.
You motherfucker! I mean, like, one of the bomb dungeons, or what the fire dungeon? Not the fire dungeon, but fuck. I forgot the dungeon where the bombs grow on the wall and shit, and the little plants. You know, like that was a very core mechanic. Every dungeon kind of had like some kind of mechanic that's introducing, at least one. You know, that like gives it that extra interactive factor, you know? And no RPG does this, because RPGs are too fucking lazy for that. RPGs are the fucking worst. There's no environmental interaction. So I don't actually think that Chrono Trigger and Secret of Mana will give you that. So maybe look more into like A Link to the Past.
Yeah, so you can see already that we have, especially in the mine style sheet, there are some puzzle elements. There are some statues which can emit sound, like, you know, like a force type of deal, and there are some pegs with tracks. So and obviously for the mines we have the minecart. I don't remember if the minecart asset. I might have to look into. We might have look into that, Falco, because that's gonna be a complex thing. So here's what I've been thinking, right?
Yeah. But we can definitely have that, but yeah, it would be complicated. Well, no. Yeah, no, we should definitely.
No, if you think, because if you think about it, it's a basically, it's not a tall thing. It's a lying down thing. So rotation of it in a perspective is gonna be a bitch.
Oh, you mean artistically?
Yeah, exactly. But
okay. Maybe hold off on that.
So,
yeah.
But
yeah,
I have an idea. But I have an idea, Falco. I have an idea. But that would require applying masking to objects. So basically, we would have to, because I have an idea how to make the card, but then we will have to make a use of masking on Julian. So like, if you think about basically, like you have the Julian sprite, and we basically say like, you don't, there is a PNG mask that we multiply Julian by,
Oh, yeah.
and that's
No, we could do that. We could do that.
Yeah,
it'd
yeah,
be
but-
like a little
yeah.
shader from. Okay.
because
yeah, we.
do you remember my boat experiment? Do you remember the boat that was?
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember that.
So
yeah.
I would do minecart like that, which is
Do I show them your boat experiment actually?
uh
So what we're talking about is
I showed it a long
it's
time
actually
ago.
pretty hardcore. It's like you'll notice in ES we can rotate around the third axis only because of the perspective of certain art. So we have certain scenarios like a boat where rotating that is actually a three-dimensional rotation with sprites. And we've had to figure out how to pull that off aesthetically. And so we're talking about mines, and it would be easy or cool to put a mine cart in there, but then that rotation where it's not just the exactly down the z-axis, it's going to be more complicated.
Yeah, like because essentially, like obviously I could resolve it like any other pixel art game ever, where you just have different static animations.
Yeah,
but
I know, that looks so shitty, man.
yeah, but like you won't gonna have like if you're turning this way, like that's
I know.
that's not good. Like we can do better.
I know. The thing I'm worried about, dude, is that our animations look so fucking good, and everything in ES looks so fucking good that when we cut shit like that, like cut corners, it's gonna really show up.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying we're gonna have to do masking.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would probably like we have like something working against us in that our baseline aesthetic will be pretty damn good. So if we do shortcuts, it will stick out even more.
Yeah, but here is the thing. That's the best part about it. This is not a shortcut. Making all of those different, angled animation will take me more time than the clever solution with spine and the boat.
Yeah,
that's just like the technical limitation they didn't had back in the day. They didn't have the amount of memory and the tools and assets and because let's not forget our knowledge as species about game development and art art
we're getting topical.
went so far.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. What do you think, Jacob? Do you kind of get a feeling for where we're going with like the caves and the ruins? Jacob.
I think he was dealing with kid again.
I'm here.
Oh fuck. Okay.
No, he's back. Like.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
So did you explain to him like when you explore this place, you're not initially starting in the ruins. You're starting in a cave.
Yeah, but like guys, remember that we have warp. So basically, because what we need first and foremost is that area, like a gameplay area that also serves as a showcase for the test. So we could, in theory, take a part which gonna be later a middle of a dungeon, then that we can do first, and that's what we can warp directly from forest, and then we can just rewrite the warps where.
Yeah. I mean that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So first, I think first would be the best area. Would be like a bit of a dungeon and a bit of mines. So you go from the this natural.
Yeah, I agree actually. Yeah. So you understand what he's saying, Jacob? Like, at first, you can make the warp so that if you only have one area of caves done and mine, you could still warp from Lauren to the fucking caves, to the mines, to Politechnica, and still have the progression in there, and then slide in the adjacent areas as we finish them.
Yeah. So make it iterative.
Yeah, so it's still like a deliverable, playable thing with all of the biomes, but we're getting a lot done, on a couple of areas so that we have like the entire palette of the game, if you will, done,
Yeah, so like basically
and showable, in a showable form.
Yeah, because we've been like it's nice that we've been trying to polish the forests and stuff like that, but we need right now we need a better test case for lightning, which is that, and also it's gonna like there is a lot benefit to do a bit of dungeon.
Okay, all right. I'll tell Jeremy that.
Yeah. Plus, like the another thing is that like I'm basically done with adding. I genuinely don't think like after this weekend I will have anything else to add to Lauren Forest. So basically, I'm gonna do spine animations for the. Wait, I think we have them. I'm not sure if we have spine animations for the enemies in the dungeon.
I'm not sure either. I think we have it for some of them, but you probably have a bunch of work to do on stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I need to go back through the caves and mines because I didn't even do a pass in there on things that I think the level needs in terms of graphics. You know, I like to at least do a pass too. Dude, I wanted to mention. Have you guys seen this game, Yoshi's Woolly World? I wanted to
Dude, what the fuck
talk
is
about
this
this
shit?
for a sec. Like, kind of going back to
That looks fucking
what I was
cool.
saying. How we can't get away with certain things. So you see this aesthetic, like it's very impressive as fuck to me, and like it looks in game, it looks pretty fucking good. Let me find like better screenshots of this shit.
Dude,
Has really good depth of field. It just looks very like
realistic as fuck.
Realistic, but yeah. Continue.
No, that looks realistic as fuck from what I've seen.
Yeah, do you want to know where they fucked up though? I picked this game up and turned on like, wow, graphically I'm very impressed. Like it's a really good physically based render, whatever the fuck. But the minute I started playing, I'm like, oh, they fucked up. The minute you start playing it, it looks insanely hyper realistic, but the physics are shit. It plays like a game maker, you know, jumping is super rigid. Like this world looks so real, but then the way that you move and interact with it does not match the aesthetic, you know?
Oh my god, I just realized you're like third person that said this. Like I
feel like that.
Now I realize,
you know? That's why, dude, I really think physics is really fucking important for ES and for games like that. You know, like when you look at a game like this, you kind of have this like this innate like I don't know, bias to how you think the world will behave as realistic as it looks, you know? And then it doesn't, and it feels really fucking weird. Did you ever play Little Big Planet?
No, I haven't, but I know of it, and I've seen it.
If you took the physics out of Little Big Planet and it played like, I don't know, with like 16-bit platforming physics, you know, it would be weird. It wouldn't be the same thing. You know?
Damn.
I don't know. I feel like they kind of fucked that up, and that's something we need to be aware of, too.
Oh, dude, definitely.
They made it in the Unreal Engine? Then why the fuck are the physics so shitty?
Dude, by the way, I'm checking on my streaming stats. I haven't dropped a single frame.
Oh, I hate you.
Dude,
yeah.
And it's... it's great.
Nice.
Man, I was recently downloading some games on Steam, and man, this internet is so fucking great. I can download gigabytes in minutes.
Nice. Do you need anything from me, Patrick, from the toolkit? Like, is there anything that you would need or want to help with this area, getting shit in there? Is there any Lua things that you need?
Nah, not currently. Once I'm gonna do the maps, and I mean, like first, as I said, like first I need to finish the refactor I was mentioning and the new assets for the forest, and then I'm gonna sit into it. And once I'm gonna I'm probably gonna need a refresher, but I'm gonna sit with Jacob on it because now he's mostly using toolkit. So I think having to have to remind me how to toolkit is gonna be beneficial.
Hey? Yeah, for sure. And you'll probably find a bunch of shit too.
Yeah. So I'm probably gonna have some requests once I'm gonna start working on it, but for now, no.
Right. Jacob, I'm about to look into I'm getting ready to look into the that elevation decoration issue you were talking about.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you real quick. Have you been running the stable build or just the master release build or whatever?
The stable build.
Okay. Do you remember why you were only using that one? What was wrong with the other build? Because I remember I was right in the middle of something and then I had to move and Lauren got knocked up and I wound up in the fucking hospital. What was it that was wrong with that build? Something was a little reasted with it.
I can't remember. There was something like on the OpenCL stuff. It was loading in. It would load the assets and then it would just keep crashing. And I had said something about it.
And I think I did some work on like fucking one of the graphical effects for like. Remember, I was doing some graphics work on where if you walk outside and it's really bright, the dynamic exposure adjustment. for the bright light versus dark shit. I wonder if I fucked up that OpenCL kernel. Whatever, I'll look into it. This is the first thing I need to do before I even look into fixing the renderer with Vulkan is I want to make sure that the one that's not stable is as stable or better than stable. Like I really need that to happen, you know, because there are actually things that I've worked on since then that are missing that you do want in that non-stable build. So I got to get that back to stable.
Yeah.
And then, I'll work on the Vulkan renderer. And I'm going to do that in parallel. I'm going to make another branch, and do that with bug fixing and doing all the shit you guys need from the toolkit, and then they're going to merge later on, and it will all just come together. So I'm not just going to be doing that. That'll be like kind of a side thing for me. Jacob, do you need like any games to play or anything, anything specifically you can think of? Oh, I meant to ask you for level design. Did you ever play Mario RPG?
I played like a little bit of it. I have not played through.
Dude, you really need to play that game and pay attention to the platforming mechanics. And notice Mario RPG looks a lot like, as far as map goes, it looks a lot like Sonic 3D Blast. Which remember I was looking at that, like that's.
Oh yeah, dude, because like remember I made those like holographic bridges and the things with the crystals. You guys remember that shit?
Oh, yeah.
So like I made like moving platforms, and like there was this entire deal where in the dungeon you can you have those sockets where you can collect crystals and drop them off, and you progressively power on like a power line essentially to either unlock those.
Yeah, we should do that.
So like think like Portal, like if you know from Portal 1 and 2 when you had like those buttons and glowing lines on walls and shit, and then also elevators, moving platforms, all kinds of cool shit.
So almost like Redstone in a way. Yes.
Yeah,
like
totally.
Electricity system, like signal and switches. Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
Which I already had something similar to that worked out with a turret, but something funky with getting them to link. I was trying to do something to where.
Oh, in terms of like Lua behavior.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it's like a remote behavior.
Yeah, dude, do it. Make a turret. That'd be awesome. If you make a turret, make sure that you can use a generic prefab for what the bullet should look like. So you can have bullets that explode or stick, or what I mean.
Oh, dude.
Make sure to make that generic.
Oh, dude, like you can do the I can make you really quickly think in a spine where because we have like an enemy that's shooting. We have this sniper enemy from Ruins. I can just take his hand and make a turret out of it, and that would be a really nice introduction to the mechanics. Like initially, first thing your player encounters are those stationary turrets that can be powered on and off, and then they encounter a mobile version that doesn't require a power. Or maybe you could like power on and then like steer them, so you could like use a turret and shoot it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Actually, that's pretty cool.
One thing I was thinking about doing was to get used to doing like activating the switches and stuff. Like have it to where you'll see the enemy like further on in the level, but if you're not paying close enough attention, you'll walk over a trip line or something like that, and that turns on the power to activate the enemy coming at you.
Oh yeah, totally.
Enough to see, like,
oh yeah, that's like cool. Yeah, do it. That's cool. Yeah. So focus on the ruins then, okay? Or Kate, mines and ruins, like just transition fully to that, and just like make sure to look into what enemies are there, if they're not already prefabs. Really, all of them need to be made prefabs, like all the items in like item folder, like that should probably be like one of the first things we do now.
Yeah, and I think they have animations, but they might not have a dead animation because the way I was envisioning their dead is that they will fall to pieces, and we have actually also separate assets of them in pieces, so we can have like you can
have them crumble into their individual pieces. Jacob, remember we want to do that with the bones? We should really do that and like have a generic behavior that can do that.
Yeah, I mean like being able.
I remember animation with its aggregate pieces as standalone sprites, right?
I remember we were working on it, and like there was some fucking issues with breaking up spine.
It'll be a nightmare. So it'll be a nightmare to do it the way we want to do it, which eventually we should do that. But that should come way later. But for now, it would just be swap the spine thing out with just a fucking a bunch of sprites, you know, and then just do that.
All right. So then I'm gonna.
And it will look great to anyone who knows us, probably. And like for now, we should totally do that because it would be just a complete fucking trap for me to go in and try to get that working.
Okay. Then
but that would still look so good, you know, like it would.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure then that we have all of the.
And we kind of wanted their pieces to be gatherable and shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Like and usable. So like because I was thinking like there is this turret again the turret enemy with this giant sniper cannon, which is it's bigger than fucking Julian, but it would be cool if you would be able to pick it up and walk with it, and like shoot it.
Cool. That'd be pretty cool. John Kinghorn, do you guys work in like an agile framework, or is it something where you can't follow that type of structure? Well, in the past we've definitely not because we've work too much to have like daily stand-ups and shit. That's way too much. I don't really think you're not really agile if you're adhering to structure that rigidly. I was a scrum master for 3 years, and I have a fundamental problem with any design ideology or whatever development ideology that is that rigid. But more or less, this is our stand-up right now, and it's more like on a cadence of weekly when those stand-ups happen. If you want to put it like that, I think the concept of Scrum is good, but it's not something that you can just force. Scrum as a concept is good because it's what naturally fucking happens when you get a bunch of people together who are a functioning team. You naturally like update each other, and you know what I mean? Whether that happens every fucking day at a set time or not, like it's supposed to be organic, It's kind of trying to force something to happen with normal developers, which happens organically already with good developers. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, putting a name to it seems weird. Like basically, the way it currently arose in the current iteration, which is from the previous week, is here specifically because I was missing for a long time, and I came back. I'm like, okay, I need an update of what the fuck is going in project, so the best way to go about it was to have all those meetings, and it coincided with bringing in Pritam, so it's a very good opportunity for us to set up a really good structure to bring in other person and make the transition integration out less painful. Like definitely and also for me the the starter for this entire thought was like joining my current company Scopely. Like they handled integration really well, and that's where it clicked me. Like, that's a good way of doing it. We should probably be doing that.
What specifically did they do well? Just the meetings?
I mean, yeah, just basically the formal introduction of a project of like, okay, so here, now we're gonna sit you and we're gonna show you and explain to you a bunch of features that we're gonna be working, bunch of our custom shit that we're gonna be working. Yeah. So, here's access to everything and play with it, but we're gonna also, walk you through everything and, this sort of, this set updates because in past
yeah. Definitely take the good and leave the bad from corporate.
Because like the daily would be definitely too much for us, especially that we're basically working 2 jobs, and and Jacob is arguably working 3 jobs with having kids, and you Falco gonna be working 3 jobs with having a kid. But having those, hey, let's meet up once a week to keep each other motivated and to keep reminding each other that we're not alone and just throwing shit into the void. I think it's very beneficial, and also it updates everyone, right. So we're not silent for months.
Right. We gotta. I'm trying to talk Lauren into it. We really fucking need to update the Kickstarter, dude. But I am so fucking busy at work, and whatever time I get, dude, I just would rather. I always want to put it towards coding, to put it towards actually working on ES. But we really take it. I'm gonna try to see if I can get Lauren to be our secretary because she'll be able to she'll know what's going on during the week and follow me around. I'll see if I can have her update the Kickstarter while she's at home with the baby.
I'm gonna get myself some more water. The camera is.
Damn it! I was just thinking I want water. All right. What's up, Jacob? Anyone have any questions? Or are we even online still?
I don't know.
Says we're live. Okay.
Yep, we're live.
Just getting down to business. Oh shit, dude! Oh yeah, I forgot. I just updated Xcode, and now I can't build in Qt Creator.
All right, I'm back. Falco, you can get yourself some water.
All right, I'll be right back.
Let's check.
Everyone make sure you can get Poll right the fuck now so that we can get to work.
Why I can't get Paul because I have only one screen to share.
Fuck! Don't get Poll then.
I can get Poll.
Yeah, don't worry. I don't need help with OBS. It's just because Falco's internet became extremely unstable in the middle of a stream, and I needed the stream keys and everything to just as a backup when I need to live stream. I was like, hey, let's do it now, and I have literally no setup. I was like, that was literally no OBS setup. I'm basically screen sharing, and the worst part is, because I have very shitty currently setup, because I just moved, I have only one monitor, everything is very, very annoying. So guys, don't worry, this is an emergency state. This is not how it's going to be. We're gonna have a nice and proper stream setup, don't you worry about it.
Wait, what? Are they bitching that we're disorganized?
Nah, someone's offering help with stream because I guess like I couldn't look at the chat, but I'm assuming someone is like, why are you literally just screen sharing your entire screen? And I'm like, emergency measures, baby. Nice.
Can you kind of try to keep pinging Freedom every so often just so he doesn't like slide away? You know, I don't know how busy he is, or like, I'm really glad that he came in and said that he wouldn't be able to make it,
Yeah,
but...
yeah, I was also glad that I mean, like, arguably, as I said, like, last time I was talking with him when I was doing the onboarding, he did say that he's gonna be super busy for 2 weeks, and he won't be doing anything.
Sure, man, we've had bad luck with artists and team members,
yeah.
So...
I mean, I know, but this is, I'm giving him benefit of the doubt, and, he took the time to show up and reaffirm that, he gave us an update, so...
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. All right, good. That's why I want to hear that I'm full of shit there. Good. Okay.
Yeah. Now.
Hey guys, what's up?
If 3 weeks pass and he's still not doing anything, then I'm gonna start worrying. But it's. Even if Pritam, which I don't think he's gonna do nothing. Like I have a higher opinion of him than that. Right. But even even in the absolute worst case scenario, if he would get reset for any reason and he couldn't do anything, it still was good because that prompted me to do a bunch of really important refactoring, which also make Jacob's life easier.
You're right. But yeah, man, that's how. It definitely is a good thing to have multiple artists, though.
Definitely, and if he can,
the amount of shit you have to do now with the engine, like.
Yeah, if he can focus on doing the 2D art, and then I would just do the special things like normal mapping afterwards, and just do the animations and skins. Then that would be. That'll be amazing. That'll be great.
Oh yeah, I know. And then Jacob, how are you feeling doing levels like?
Confident wise, or like just motivated?
Yeah. Are you confident? Are you happy? Like, do you like what you're doing?
Enjoyment level.
Like, are you like, fuck this? I'm quitting this team.
Yeah.
Like,
do you hate your existence?
Not because of school maybe, but no, I actually enjoy doing levels. It was kind of a nice break to be able to take my mindset away from coding since.
That's kind of how level design was for me, but. I'm not good enough to be I don't want to be a decent level designer who is not good enough to be as good as what fucking Elysian Shadows is. Like, I'm really fucking good at programming. Patrick is really fucking good at art. Jeremy's really fucking good at music. Like, I don't want to do it because I don't want to just be okay at level design. And that's like the fucking, that's the crux of the entire game. And I think you have the making of someone who will be definitely way better than that. You doing that with all of our feedback, I think we could, do a really good job.
And it's just, with like Politechnica, it's just like, I spent a lot of time on the first map, but also at the same time, I'm like, I want to have the best levels possible for ES.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't mind having to go back and redo stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting good feedback and letting me know what direction to move in.
Good. I like it. Yeah, you've taken it well.
Yeah, like
and I feel like it's gonna come in handy when we're actually like scripting up gameplay and shit. That if something works better, you're not gonna be afraid to fuck with the level. Like it can organically grow because you're the motherfucker laying the tiles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and remember.
Then if we had someone completely different from scripting laying the level, and then we go back and script, and we're like, it could have been a little better.
Yeah. And remember that in terms of just tile sheets, my very first tile sheet, which is Lauren, changed literally 3 times. Like I literally did 3 previous iterations of the style sheet. So this is either third or even fourth, simply because there was so much stuff that I've learned and I got feedback. Like for Christ's sake, like the first version I did, like the feedback from the fanbase was, dude, why is there a concentration camp in Elysian Shadows? You remember that? The very first Lauren? This grey one. Falco.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. The Auschwitz town? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. God damn it, am I breaking up again?
No, you're not. You're fine.
Your voice is here. Your video is
and now now you're frozen. And that's why I'm live streaming and not Falco. Hey! I just need to do the OBS setup correctly.
Okay. So you're the man with
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. I'm live streaming. That's why the live stream has such a fucking shitty setup where it's literally just the live cast of my one and only screen, and that's why I can't even work because I cannot show people as they talk. So
yeah.
But it's an emergency measure. So I really should. That's probably gonna be fuck. I still need to wait for the fucking money. Wait, maybe I could. Okay,
God damn it.
Hey, Falco.
Hey.
I'm getting bitched at by Lauren. She needs help with the dishes because she's pregnant as fuck. Are there anything else that we need to talk about? Jacob, okay, so we said that you need to get a list of shit we needed to finish Beloy Forest or Lauren. Like, forget that. Like, only focus now, your only focus is the caves and mines, okay? So, like, you go in there, start working on new levels, and then get him a list of everything, try to have it as specific as possible.
Yeah, take a look at the tile sheet, take a look at the Photoshop file. If there is anything that's unclear, let me know, and then start working. And whatever is missing, just add to a list. Also, we should find time to look into GitHub and reorganize it, clean it up, and have a clean slate, so we can start using it for the current task.
Right. Does that sound good? I'm gonna work on the tile animation shit and a couple other things that you had mentioned, getting the non-stable branch to stable.
All right, and I'm gonna work on finalizing and exporting the extra small stuff for Lauren Forest, and then I'm gonna start adding to the caves. And
right, as he starts getting requests.
I have some ideas also for caves. So I have some like glowing mushrooms, but I will definitely.
Yeah, remember we got Bloom and we can do cool shit with the caves.
Yeah, I have already some ideas also for dungeon, for just having some more glow in the
that kind of stuff. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, good. Okay, good.
So because one of the cool things will be like when you first enter the dungeon, like you walk in and it's all dark, and you sort of enter on the floor of the dungeon. You sort of go out of the caves, and then everything slowly lights up, like.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah. I like that. We could do that. Yeah, I like that a lot. That would be fucking awesome.
Like the pupil dilating, right?
Yeah, that would be. Oh yeah, dude. Because I just added that actually.
Yeah, because we had the fucking facial expressions. Yeah, we could do like sideways, so you could see the side of the face, and you can see the. Yeah, Dude, I knew the fucking facial animations are worth it. It was pain.
Yeah.
It was pain, but it's gonna be so worth it.
Definitely. All right, cool. Well, after I do the dishes and shit, I'll be in chat working. So I'll see you guys in a sec. And definitely, like, whenever you're online during the week, just say what's up.
I mean, like, I can't like I can't really work on live stream because only one.
Yeah.
Stream.
Oh yeah. With
So,
one monitor. Oh my God! Don't. And everyone's gonna see all the shit.
Yeah. So I guess we're ending live stream because
we don't want to leak our server information.
Yeah. I want to do some work. So I think that's gonna be end for this week live stream. But yeah, we're gonna see you guys next week. See ya.
Yeah, I'm expecting a good week. All right. See you guys.
All right, now let me find. Why, guys? We're still on. Let me now find somewhere here. Okay, here's the OBS. Stop.